How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James, coming at you guys with another Star Wars Galaxy's Edge product review, and today we're here to focus on the brand new Jedi and Sith Holocrons that were released on May 4th of 2024. Not only did we get access to brand new Holocrons, but we also got an array of new editions of Kyber Crystals to also collect as well. So for today's video, I wanted to more focus on information to try to break down some of the questions that you guys may have in general in terms of, what exactly do we get with these new Kyber Crystals? Are the canisters new? Do these new Kyber Crystals work with the original Holocrons and things of that nature? What happens when you combine this stuff together and all that fun stuff? Now, I also want to let you know that I currently do not have access to all the characters. I am currently, from the new set, I am missing a total of 3. So if you happen to have any of the ones that I'm about to mention and would like to either trade or maybe sell off or work out a deal, let me know and reach out to me. The 3 that I'm currently missing is that I'm missing the black obsidian crystal, which contains Palpatine. Yes, there is a new black crystal, unlike the original black one that we had from Wave 1. And I'm also missing the other 2 chases, which is for Ben Solo along with Kylo Ren. And those are new additions as well. So if you have those, like to work out a deal, let me know. Those are the 3 that I'm missing. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start with the basics in terms of pricing. Now, the pricing of the Holocrons are the same as they did with the original release, which is at $50. These do come with the same accessories, such as a little black bag, along with instructions and a charging cable. On the instructions, we'll go over in terms of how to activate the Holocrons, and of course, what happens when you can do different combinations, which we'll go over in just a few minutes. Now, the other thing that you might be kind of curious is, of course, the Kyber Crystals. Are these any different? Well, obviously, first off, you have a new set of characters to collect. If I remember correctly, in the first wave of the Kyber Crystals since the opening of Galaxy's Edge, I believe there was a total of 17 characters to collect. You could always revert to my original video from back then. And then for the new set, there's an additional 18, if I recall, characters to get, which means that in total we have, I don't know, I'm not great with math, 35, 36 Kyber Crystals in total at this current point in time, which I think is pretty cool for collection. Because one of my favorite things about Galaxy's Edge that I really enjoyed when it came to doing these videos is that I had fun not only buying the Holocrons, but going out of my way to finding the different Kyber Crystals and trying to get the characters that I were missing to add to the collection. And then that moment where I finally obtained the black obsidian Kyber Crystal without using the cheat method. You guys know what I'm talking about, the little flashlight trick from back in the day. Never did that, so that was always fun. But I was kind of bummed that I completed that purpose and I didn't have anything to look forward to, but now I do with the new set of waves here. So let me go ahead and give you guys a closer look at what these new canisters look like. Let me go ahead and bring one here. I'm hoping that this one is the one in question. Nope, so let's bring this one because this one's going to be Cal Kestis. So first things first is that this is what the new Kyber Crystal canister is going to look like. Now, if you're looking at this thinking to yourself, that canister is looking a little bit on the thicker side, and you are not wrong. In fact, let me go ahead and bring another canister over from version 1. And there is a big size difference there, and which is going to have people not really liking the new ones too much, and we'll get to the reason why. Now, to open these are very simple. You just go ahead and twist this top here. Eventually, that lifts open to where you can pull everything out. Cool little thing here is that you have these 3 metal rods in there. So I feel like it's a little bit of an upgrade for a canister. On the inside of these, you will, of course, have your corresponding Kyber Crystal of that color. Now, because I'm opening a blue one here, you might have a chance to get the chase variant for the blue, which will be a blue outer shell for the Kyber Crystal, but you'll be able to see a little bit red on the inside for Ben Solo. And then vice versa, if you're opening up a red canister, you might have a chance to get a black obsidian crystal for Emperor Palpatine, or you might get the cracked crystal for Kylo Ren. Now, along with the Kyber Crystal, you also have access to a piece of paper on the inside. And essentially what this piece of paper goes over is that it tells you exactly what character that you got with that crystal without having to do the mystery process of putting it into the holocron. So for example, here, this one's Cal Kestis. It has information stating that the new Series 2 Jedi, that these are intended for the new Series 2 Jedi and Sith Holocrons. So mind you, once again, that the new Kyber Crystals are primarily intended to be used with the new Holocrons, not the old. Now the main question here is, well, can you still use it on your old? What happens if you put the new crystal into the old one? Well, it also tells you on the piece of paper. So for example, this blue one, we know it's Cal Kestis if I put it into the new Jedi Holocron. But if I put it into my old one, it won't be Cal Kestis. Instead, it's going to be Old Ben Kenobi. And the reason why is because when these holocrons first came out, these were specifically made to work with the Kyber Crystals that were released back then. And mind you, that Galaxy's Edge is surprisingly over 4 years old. It's crazy how time flies. So obviously, these new ones aren't going to work as well with the old ones, just so you were aware. But I mean, on the positive, if you were missing Kyber Crystals from your original collection, maybe you were missing Old Ben Kenobi, then technically you got a 2-for-1 right here, so that's always a positive. But the other cool thing too is that on the back you have more information as well. So to kind of give you an example with one here, like I said, with Cal Kestis, is that in this vial lies a blue Kyber crystal imbued with the power of the light side. Cal Kestis survived the Empire's Jedi's purged and formed into a fierce Jedi warrior. With his friends, Cal led a crusade against the Empire. When you place inside a lightsaber or holocron, the power of the blue Kyber crystal will connect through the Force and illuminates. And so there you go. I like the little additional kind of character information and things like that. I think that's pretty neat. With the original Kyber Crystals that we had back since the opening of Galaxy's Edge, the only one that came with a piece of paper would be the one that would be included with the Black Obsidian Crystal, but that's pretty much about it. So let's go ahead and kind of go over more information here in terms of what exactly do you get out of this. Well, the good thing here is that when it comes to the new holocrons, is that these are fully supported with all of your original Kyber crystals from back in the day, along with the new one. So if you missed out on the old holocrons, or for some reason yours ended up breaking, then not to worry, all those crystals are compatible with the new ones right then and there. The other thing to also note too is that with the original one, when you would play this by itself with no crystal, contained Darth Bane, while the original Jedi one contained Obi-Wan Kenobi, warning the Jedi to stay away. With the new set of holocrons, we have now Darth Vader present in the Sith holocron, while in the Jedi will contain Luke Skywalker, or a variation of Luke. It's not really the Luke that I know. I feel like it's well, you will understand. In fact, let me just play the audio. So let's start with Luke Skywalker here.
The Force can be a trickle, a stream, a river, a flood, for anyone who can sense it. Think of yourself as a door. The wider you open, the more easily the Force flows through you. Some people start out with their door a bit more open, but any door can open wide.
So I don't know about you, but it's not the Luke that I know. It's a false Luke. And we'll do one more.
There are two aspects of the Force. The living Force is generated by life, ceaseless and ever-renewing. Then there's the cosmic Force, and it has an awareness and a will. When you are in harmony with the life all around you, you will learn to hear the cosmic Force.
So that's the one present on the new Jedi holocron, while the new Sith holocron is going to be Darth Vader.
Pain, loss, distractions to be discarded as the Jedi taught, but tools to be grasped. Learn to use them, and the power of the dark side will be yours to command. We are taught to retreat from pain, but that's failing the test. You must go into the dark, to the center of pain and loss. Take what is broken in you and make it into power.
Now, if you haven't already guessed, the new Sith Holocron is absolutely my favorite from the new ones.
The Jedi peddled easy lies. Comforting falsehoods filled their precious code, their sacred texts, their secret lore. The teachings of the Sith offer no comfort, just hard truths.
And there's even more that is added to that, so that's not even the entirety of the audio there. So yeah, like I said, those are the default voices that you will get if you don't have any Kyber Crystals. Now, as I mentioned, these are fully compatible with your original Kyber Crystal. So to give you a perfect example here, we have, of course, this Black Obsidian Crystal. As for those of you who probably know already, this one contains Snoke. So meaning that if I place this one into the new Sith one, we are still going to get that same character as before. And just like that.
I cannot be betrayed. I cannot be beaten.
And then we'll just do one more of that one.
Well done, my good and faithful apprentice.
So yeah, that's exactly the same as I mentioned. And just like before, if you take a Jedi Kyber Crystal and put it into the Sith Holocron as well. Now, for those of you who don't remember, is that when you added a Jedi Kyber Crystal into the original Sith Holocron, you had Emperor Palpatine. And so same thing as here. Oop. These are still a little sensitive. And
Give in to your anger. With each passing moment, you make yourself more my servant.
so just like that. Now, the main question here is what happens if you combine a V2 Jedi Kyber Crystal with the Sith Holocron? Do you still get the Emperor or do you get someone new? Well, the good news is that you get someone completely new. So we're going to go ahead and take my corresponding Kyber Crystal here. So this one here, if you're curious, this one is Luminara. And we're going to go ahead and stick the new Luminara Kyber Crystal into the V2 Sith one. Now, as I mentioned, by default with no crystal, you get Darth Vader. And then taking a original Jedi crystal from V1, putting it in here, you get the Emperor. Taking a new Jedi Kyber Crystal and putting into the new V2, you will get another Darth Vader.
You will join us or die.
Like I said, I really like this one.
It is your destiny. Betrayal is the way of the Sith and the path to power. The Jedi betrayed Anakin Skywalker to keep him weak. My Sith Master betrays me to make me strong.
So really cool stuff there. That's pretty much how that one works for those crystals. Now, before we go into the whole combining of the Kyber Crystals too, some of you might be kind of curious. What happens if you take any of the new, now released Kyber Crystals and put it into your Savi's Workshop lightsaber? For some reason, this one's a question. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is a good question indeed. In fact, when you take these new Kyber Crystals and put it into your Savi's Workshop lightsaber, whether it's an original one like this one or the new one with the pieces, they actually do something very special. They do the same exact thing as any other Kyber Crystal. So there's nothing special. Green will ignite green, black will ignite red, vice versa, and all that fun stuff. So they work exactly the same as the V1 crystals. There's no difference whatsoever with that. The only difference is really comes down to the holocrons and that's pretty much it, really. Well, holocrons, and believe it or not, the new crystals also work with the Sith wayfinder, which we'll demo in just a few minutes. Now, the other thing that you might be wondering is, what about combinations? In the original Kyber crystals, I'm getting them so mixed up now. In the original holocrons, when you combine these two together, you had access to the Bendu. However, when you combine these ones, you don't just get one. In fact, there is more than one combination with the new holocrons here, and they are also compatible with the original. So by combining the two new ones together, you will have access to the Father, which is great. Now it gets even better. If you combine the old Sith and the new one together, you have access to the Son. And then if you combine the original Sith holocron and the new Jedi holocron, you will have access to the Daughter. And last but not least, if you combine the new Jedi holocron with the old one, you have access to the Bendu. I feel like this is the one part that kind of confuses me. If I get the Son in regards to combining the Sith together, how come I don't get the Daughter when I combine the Jedi ones together? Instead, I get the Bendu. I feel like this combination here, it was swapped around for some weird reason, but that's just kind of my thought on that one. But as far as the Bendu dialogue, if you're curious with that combination, there's no new dialogue. It's the same dialogue as if you combine the originals. That's pretty much really about it. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that right now by, of course, starting off with the Father. First, you activate it. Just like that.
I am neither Sith nor Jedi. I am much more. You cannot imagine what pain it is to have such love for your children and realize they could tear the very fabric of our universe. A family in balance, the light and the dark, day with night, destruction embraced by creation.
Don't worry, there will be a separate video once I collected all the Kyber crystals where we're going to go over every single piece of audio. So like I said, you get the Father combining those two. Now let's go ahead and get access to the Son. Now this one had a little bit of a special instruction. Let me just go ahead and kind of recap really quick just to make sure we're on the same subject. Now on the Sith Holocron instruction booklet, you will have the instructions here of what happens to combining the two Sith ones together. And it basically says, connect a Series 2 Sith and Series 1 Sith holocrons together to unlock a secret message from the Son. Hold the sides of the Series 2 Sith holocron for 5 seconds to initiate the connections. Press the sides again to hear the Son. So like I said, you don't just combine them like how you did with the other one where they just kind of registered. You do have to hold the sides for 5 seconds to initiate that connection. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Oop. Doing that, get it? Nope. Let's try that again.
We are taught to retreat.
Actually, I might have to do it at the same time. Let's try this again. There we go.
Together we can change the balance of the universe. Can you feel the anger, the hate, the fury? Know yourself. Know what you will become.
And we'll do one more.
You are mine now.
And boom, now we're back to normal. And this will come out of its disconnect like that. So like I said, we had the father, now we have the son, now we just need access to the daughter. Now this one doesn't require any special like hold for 5 seconds. This one would work the same way as the original ones. So we're just gonna go ahead and bring these over. Activate this one. Now this one, it's always loud. So for this one, when you activate, you're going to be pressing the buttons on the new Jedi one. Just like that.
He who can command the light will be able to control my brother. I am light. I am life. Evil cannot touch me. Join me, and we can create a galaxy without shadows, without anger, without fear. A lightsaber is nothing. My blade is radiance, and with it I shall tear the darkness asunder.
And that's how you get access to the daughter. And I figured since we're at it, you guys probably want to see the Jedi ones connected. Let me just make sure there was no special instruction on that one. Connect a Series 2 Jedi and Series 1 Jedi Holocron together to unlock the secret message from the Bendu. Flip over the Series 2 Jedi Holocron. It is facing upside down, and over the Series 1 Jedi Holocron. Hold the sides of the Series 2 Jedi Holocron for 5 seconds. To initiate the connection, press the sides again to hear the Bendu. So it's essentially the same method as the Sith Holocrons, but this time with the Jedi one. So it wants us, just look for the door here, bring these over. Just like that. I have this upside down here. You gotta find like the sweet spot for these.
Think of yourself as a door.
Oh. There we go.
Jedi and Sith wield the Ashlar and Bogan, the light and the dark. I'm the one in the middle, the Bendu.
That's how that one works. So those are all the combinations between the different holocrons. Well, honestly, I think it's pretty cool that the new ones do something with the originals. The fact that we have access to the father, the son, and daughter is really cool. I just don't understand how come this one is the Bendu instead of, you know, the daughter, which doesn't make sense, but that's probably the only really nitpick that I have, to be quite honest. But yeah, overall, I think the new set is really awesome for sure. So I figured before I let you guys go, I'll let you listen to a couple more as well while we're here in this case, because it wouldn't be unfair to you just to listen to me talk the entire time. So let's go ahead and bring over Cal Kestis. We want to listen to him. And that one is not him, that one's Plo Koon. Fortunately, obviously there's no name on the outside because that'd be kind of defeating the purpose of the blind bag here. So we're going to go ahead and bring over Cal Kestis and start with him. So bring over the new one. So obviously, as I mentioned, if you take the Cal Kestis Kyber Crystal, put it into the Jedi Holocron, you will get Old Ben Kenobi. But obviously, we're not here to listen to Old Ben. Don't get me wrong, he's great. But we're here to listen to Cal Kestis. Bring him over here. Activate. And here we go.
We were peacekeepers. We were betrayed by those we protected, hunted down by the Empire. I might be the last of my kind. We stand here now with a chance to learn, to rebuild from our mistakes. The Force is with me. It connects us. What stands in the way becomes the way. Something happened to me during the Purge. I survived, but my connection to the Force is damaged.
So really cool. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like the sound of Cal Kestis is a little off on that one. But let's go ahead and do something fun and check out his crystal with the wayfinder and see what happens with that. Let's see, go ahead, initiate. And let's go ahead and bring over the crystal.
Bracca is a junkyard world located near the mighty Perlemian trade route in the Mid-Rim. This inhospitable planet has become a final resting place for countless decommissioned starships. The Scrapper Guild has long played a key role on Bracca, cutting ships apart and selling the salvaged components to the Empire and other galactic powers to be recycled in new ships. Bracca's scrappers are drawn from many species and planets. They specialize as cutters, hazmats, and riggers, plying their dangerous trades under the watchful photoreceptors of foreman droids. Cal Kestis escaped Order 66 as a Padawan and sought a new life as a rigger on Bracca. After the Emperor's Inquisitors discovered him, he fled the planet and returned to the Jedi path.
Alright, so let's go ahead and listen to at least a couple more. I picked out a couple at random, though I did specifically want to end the crystal listening to with Asajj Ventress. So here we have another new one, which is the Kryn Daggard. And of course, on the back here, just go ahead and read these while we're here, is that in this veil lies a white Kyber crystal imbued with the power of the light side. Kryn Daggard survived the Nihil campaigns of the High Republic era and then returned to his home world of Batu to contempt the Force when placed inside, and of course will glow white, etc. So as simple as that. So I'll go ahead and bring this on over. There we go.
There is no death. There is the Force. I am long dead. My body returned to dust and atoms. But the Force is eternal, and my energy is part of it. Do not mourn those who have died. Celebrate what they have become. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. Ignorance is a void which we fill with doubt and fear. Jedi turn to knowledge to fill that emptiness, finding it in the lessons of the Jedi archives, or in their own experiences. I lived through the great hyperspace disaster and the rampages of the Nihil. events that shook the galaxy. During those times, one lesson helped me above all others. Let there be truth between your heart and the Force. Attachment is forbidden for a Jedi, but I confess I am very much attached to a cool evening, a haunch of roasted Ronto, and a well-seasoned jet juice. If this is a lapse from the code, well, may the Force forgive me. As a youngling, I learned the Jedi Code, the philosophy upon which our order was built. Through daily meditation, it became my focus, my comfort, my strength. Let it be the same for you. Bright suns, traveler. My name is Kryn Dagbard. I was born on Batu, at the galaxy's edge. The Force led me to Coruscant, at its brilliant center. And now, in my last years, I find myself home again. The paths we walk take strange turns, but trust in the Force, and you will see the pattern.
Pretty cool. Really like that one. And let's go ahead and pop this one right into the Sith Wayfinder while we're at it. Bring this right over once again. And while that's doing that, let's go ahead and hit this once again. I'm just kidding. That's the only downside for these things. They take a little while to do.
Batu is a remote world on the galactic frontier that was a jumping-off point for explorations of the unknown regions during the early years of hyperspace travel. Batu became a backwater after scouts discovered more efficient hyperspace routes that bypassed it, but the planet remained a trading post visited by wily smugglers, brave scouts, and desperate refugees. Batu is famous for the stone spires that rise from its forests. These soaring pillars are actually the trunks of mighty trees petrified in ancient cataclysm. Kryn Dagbard was born on Batu during the High Republic era, the child of hyperspace scouts who blazed trails into the unknown regions. But Kryn's path led him to the center of the galaxy, Coruscant, and the Jedi Order.
Very cool. Alright, and let's go ahead and do one more. I figured we could end it off with Asajj Ventress. Because, well, she did kind of make an appearance in the Star Wars The Bad Batch, so I figured it'd be more fitting. So, we just need the Sith one here. Alright. And, here we go.
Now you will fall as all Jedi. You and your precious Jedi Order. Pathetic. Where are the warriors I came for? Is this all the power these men possess? Do you think you'll be able to call on the Force? Pathetic. Where are the warriors I came for? Is this all the power these men possess? In order to fight against the Force, you must see what cannot be seen. Do you think you'll be able to call on the Force? Pathetic. Where are the warriors I can...
So that one is for Ventress. And last but not least, let's go ahead and pop it into the wayfinder. Because if anything, I do at least like how this one turned out with the wayfinder, more so than the Sith Holocron, personally.
Dathomir is a gloomy world in the Outer Rim, its skies tinged with a baleful red by the dim light of its sun, Domir. Until their destruction during the Clone Wars, Dathomir was ruled by the Night Sisters, a band of warrior women whose Force traditions were dismissed as witchcraft by other Force users. Asajj Ventress was born on Dathomir, but the Night Sisters were forced to hand her over to a Sinatine pirate. So began a lifelong series of journeys for Dathomir's most famous daughter. After Count Dooku betrayed her, Ventress became a wandering bounty hunter and sacrificed her life to return the Jedi Quinlan Vos to the light. She was laid to rest in the Night Sisters' fortress on Dathomir.
So yeah, those are just some mere examples. Like I said, once I've collected all of the different characters for the new wave, of course I'll have a separate video where we will listen to every single piece of audio from the new wave, from start to finish, with the combinations to the crystals and all that fun stuff. So I guess before I end off the video, a couple extra little things here, since I did forget to mention as to why some people might not like these new canisters for the Kyber Crystals. And we'll just simply put, well, the best way to show is a little demonstration here. Now, the great thing about the original Kyber Crystal canisters is that they were so small that if you happen to have like a vest or a belt that had like those little straps there or the little loopholes there, you could essentially toss in your Kyber Crystal canisters into your outfit, which is very convenient. In fact, you'll probably notice that a lot of the employees at Galaxy's Edge would do the same thing with their vests and stuff like that, and a lot of them liked the canisters for that reason. Obviously, with these new canisters, with it being so big, aren't going to work exactly the same way, but I'm pretty sure that with these new canisters, I'm sure the community out there will come up with something pretty creative with these, which will eventually pop up on Etsy and other sources as well. So it's just about being patient and maybe seeing what cool options we have with these new ones, and just kind of go from there. It's always about being patient at the very least. Other than that, I know some other questions that you guys might have, which I won't really be able to answer truthfully, just because I don't really know myself. And one of those questions might be is, well, because we have these new Kyber Crystals, what is going to happen with the original ones that we had back in the day? Are these going away for good? Will these eventually get repackaged into the new style? And honestly, those are things I really can't answer myself, because right now, if you go online, a lot of people say, well, I've heard from this person, I've heard from that person, but no one really knows. If I had to take a guess, because these are in fact compatible with the new ones, for them to get rid of the old crystals wouldn't make any sense on Disney's end. However, I could potentially see them honestly repackaging these in the new canisters. Not just a repackage of the original crystals, but of course each of the original crystals also coming with a new piece of paperwork as well. That's my personal guess, but honestly, again, I don't really know myself. And the other one might be is, well, what about the original Holocrons? Are these still going to be available? Or are these going away for good? Based on what I've seen, at least from my recent trip, the shelf where it has the Holocrons for the Jedi and Sith were only in relations to the new one. I didn't see anywhere that was being carried with the original stuff. So if I had to take a guess, it's probably the Holocrons that are getting for sure replaced. And they just happened to have backwards compatibility, so if you were one of those people who had the originals, you could have something extra to do, like unlocking the son and daughter, is my best guess from that. But like I said, obviously the important information is the crystals, whether or not if the old ones are going away for good and things like that. And like I said, obviously I won't know that information as I don't work for Disney's half, and the only thing that you're ever going to hear online is rumors currently. Since it's still in the early stages of these being released, it's going to take a little bit of time to see what happens between the parks, and of course I'm sure in the community is going to keep tabs and saying, hey, these are now gone for good, or whatever the case may be. So just kind of be open-minded about that. Whether it's worth to panic right now, I don't think so, but at the same time, just to be on the safe side, if you're still hunting for particular characters from the original one, then obviously your best bet is to try to jump on these while you can. My biggest concern is if they do get repackaged into the new canisters, that would be a pain, especially for me. Like, I'm 3 away from having the complete set, and if the old crystals get the new repackaging, it's going to be that much harder, because how many reds do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the 2 that I'm missing, so that's 7. And how many other reds did we have with the original one? That's a lot of Kyber crystals to go through just to hunt for the 2 that I need. So that wouldn't be fun. But anywho, let me know what you guys think about the new additions from Galaxy's Edge in the comment section down below, and hopefully sooner than later I will get the rest that I'm missing, and hopefully we'll be able to revisit this once again and to listen to every piece of audio on the Holocrons, along with listening to their locations on the Wayfinder too. Until then, you guys have a wonderful week, and always remember, may the Force be with you.